Over the summer, there was even talk that Marcus Rashford was being considered by Barcelona. He scored 1 goal from open play in the last 19 games. What's happened?
So he's not going to Barcelona?
I don't think so.
And he was given the responsibility. Once Lukaku walks out that door, you say, well, who's going to score the goals here? So it was a little concerning to then see that, well, you know what, it's going to be Anthony Martial that's going to play down the middle. So wait a minute, I thought this was the pathway that you were creating for Marcus Rashford to become the guy and Manchester United. That you give him a contract. This is going to be the young player whose potential is going to be realized, and therefore he is going to become the angular piece of your attack. Well, you can't have an angular piece of your attack if you're not scoring goals. That's first and foremost. But secondly, a guy whose natural tendency when he plays out of the middle, right, in that center striker position, he starts drifting into wider areas. And so then I'll say to myself, okay, well, maybe he has a different way of playing the game from that center striker position. But then you compare it to, say, some of the best in the world. And if you're going to be the center striker for Manchester United, you're supposed to be one of the elite strikers in the world. Well, what about Harry Kane? Do you see himself thrown into wider areas and being a provider from wider areas or trying to use his speed in those? No. Most of the time, he is the guy receiving that service. Every once in a while, he'll do it and cross the ball in. But for the most part, central. Robert Lewandowski, same thing. Luis Suarez, same thing. And I'm just throwing names out there of the best out there. Marcus Rashford is not in that category. It's not in that elite level. And what we have seen from him is that, one, he is a victim to some degree of the fact that Manchester United do not create a lot of scoring opportunities. But secondly, he's also a victim of himself and not really taking the responsibility of being that guy. And there's a mentality to be that guy. He seems to be a nice young fella, a very amicable guy. And yet you need that guy to have a little bit of nastiness in him, to have a little bit of something extra, a little bit of something that said, yeah, you know what, I'm going to score the goals because I am Marcus Rashford, because this is Manchester United, because this is my team. This is my opportunity. I don't think you see enough of that from him.
Let's say he continues in the same kind of vein this season because Manchester United can't sort out their problems. They can't create better shooting opportunities for him, better attacking phases of play that are going to see him hit the target more regularly. Would you make a decision based on what you've just said, your analysis being that he just has not made himself the guy who's screaming at everyone, demanding better service? Would you make a decision at the end of this year to let him go?
No, I think he's still a good player, but you have to understand that he can be a useful tool for you, but can't be the angular piece. So you can have him. Imagine if you had a real top-notch elite striker right there playing as a number 9, and then you have Marcus Rashford running off of him. Well, now you got something. But that's a secondary role. See, that's not the guy. You know, you
Right.
see what I'm saying? That's a supporting cast. And Manchester United right now do not have the main actor. They simply don't. You need that main actor first, and then you can have the supporting cast around him. Marcus Rashford has not taken the leap to being, at the forefront, in front of the cameras. The player that whenever you're going to go against Manchester United, you say, you know what, we got to keep an eye on Marcus Rashford. Well, now you keep an eye on him, but does he really frighten you? Does he really make you scared? Does he really worry you if you're another team? Not right now. No, and there's been signs, there's been moments, but in order to be that angular piece, that reference point, you have to do this consistently, and he has not done so.
Okay, so the responsibility is really on finding the main man for Manchester United, as opposed to perhaps trying to cajole Rashford into being something that he isn't quite yet.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.